Welcome. Another Saturday Night Pregame. Boys, it's a little rainy, kind of a little bit colder night. Not as nice as...
Feels like a brisk Chicago fall night.
You know what? I've honestly felt... It hasn't felt like spring yet to me. Because now it's starting to come up a little green. But like last week, I didn't think it was very green. Like, not to... This is a weird conversation.
It was 70 degrees on Sunday?
No, it was beautiful. No, I'm sorry. It was beautiful.
Oh, when you were out on the golf course, smacking the ball around?
Hitting 2 pars in a row, the first time ever. Oh!
Getting taken to a master class with Professor Pat Lynch on how to mess up your drives.
Ooh, Chris, that was good. No, but like it hasn't really felt like usually after Easter it feels very springish to me, and it's still kind of more fallish to me. I think.
I was hungover as hell, and I still managed.
Oh yeah, we gotta talk about that. Our boy Pat Lynch coming in, looks at me. He's like, "I don't feel good." I was like, "Just go lay down, Pat. Go lay down, Pat." And then Pat didn't. No, he didn't. No, I'll try to fight this out. He went right to bed. Cutting logs, baby. I should have gotten this on Instagram Live. Boy was sawing through some big old trees. But me and Chris are there sitting there, and then Pat comes out afterwards, and he snapped off. It was a little better. He's ready for golf. Didn't know if he was going to play golf. Comes out, and he's like, "Man, Chris, you and Peter are a little more cheery than I am today." And me and Chris both look at him like, "No, we're just as hungover. This sucks. We're just sitting at our desk pretending we're working."
Yeah.
It was last weekend. You could tell from the podcast for sure.
Tied one off.
Yeah.
A couple times over.
Probably 5 or 6 shots.
I had a severe lack of water problem.
Yes, that was the only thing. But also, we didn't get to bed till 4. You cannot go to bed at 4 in the morning and then have to do
4 in the morning.
Yeah.
Easily.
Pat, I will never forget when you looked at me. It wasn't like goodbye or anything. It was the look in your face. You looked at me and you're like, it was a terror, and you just left.
Yeah, you were on the stairs and you thought everybody was leaving. We were getting ready to go. And then we lined up for, I think, another game of Slab Cup or something. And the look in your eyes were like, how are they doing this? It's over.
And we played a really, a more interesting, I don't know if you guys, we have been playing, drinking games since the pandemic started. And have found Slab Cup, which is an unbelievably fun game. Especially when a group, not actually probably COVID safe. Not COVID approved at all.
Got to do your bubble.
Yeah. Keep it in the COVID bubble.
Clean the cups in between rounds.
Yes. That's not good. It's not, maybe not recommended, but we've done it and been safe, knock on wood. And a new way to add, a funner thing to add to the funner way to add to the Slap Cup was you put the cup.
You start stacking them instead of
so it makes that one cup even more difficult.
Yeah, you know what made it real fun last week was when we decided to start mixing Coors Light and seltzers into different cups.
I still have so many seltzers. Like, these things are never going to leave my house.
Dude,
I feel like Bill Burr in that
God, how funny was that?
I feel like Bill Burr in the thing, like, you know, that thing, like, someone brings over beer to your house one day, and then, like, 5 months later, you're like, do you want a beer? Like, no, I got this crap in the thing. Do you want that? That's what I got. I got seltzer out the wazoo.
Well, I feel like we're missed here not introducing our guest for I think it's the 4th time. Our boy, Patrick, Sexy Pepsi, coming in hot tonight. How we doing today, baby?
What up? Go Cubbies!
He's our water boy for the evening.
He will be our water boy.
And he's a big Cubs fan, even though we're drinking the Sox Sale here, don't we?
Yes. So tonight's drink of choice is we're 312 does a wonderful. They do all types of different mix of beers. Thank you.
What do you mean Goose Island, not 312?
Yeah, sorry, I wanted to be yeller. Goose Island does unbelievable job of mixing and matching beers, and they made a beer for the White Sox called the Golden Ale. And me and Chris said, "Hey, let's go with it." It's actually I like it a lot.
Chris is a big ale guy.
You know what? This is close to 312 to me personally. It's maybe a little bit.
It's not as hoppy, but it's similar. It's very similar to the yeller, not the green.
Mm-hmm. And I'm enjoying it. But what makes me mad about this is they put this in cans for
it's almost like they took 312 and then like filtered it or something down again to like take it down a notch.
Yeah.
I definitely taste.
They did get rid of the lemon taste. That's true.
Yeah. But I wish they would have put in Wrigley like 3 years ago now probably.
They said they don't have it anymore, right?
No, they don't. They had what was called the 1060 wit, and we went to a buttload of.
Do you want to explain why they call it 1060 wit?
What's the address is 1060 West Addison.
Yeah. But those outside Chicago might not know.
No, this good call. You're right.
Then watch the Blues Brothers. You'll figure out
that movie's like 40-ish years old at this
It
point.
is 40
If you
years
haven't
old.
seen the Blues Brothers, you got to do it, baby.
Yeah.
But that year we had the Sunday package, 8-packet game for the Cubs.
Sunday pack is not recommended.
Not recommended
Because it's a lot of day games.
And you're really hungover most of the games usually.
And if it's not a day game, you're starting to drink a little early, and then your Monday's shot to shit too.
And you're also out till like 12 o'clock.
But the 1060 Wit, that's the only beer that I would drink that whole summer, and I loved it. And I was trying to find out. We would talk to them at the game, like the 3-1, the Goose Island tent, and we'd ask them like, "Where can you get this?" And suppose it was the Blue Line, but we never.
I don't think you can buy Blue Line either, though.
No, you can't anymore. You used to be able to a little bit.
Yeah, there are certain places I think you could pick it up at. But yeah, once they decided to get rid of it.
Nobody there. Well, it sounded like somebody's there.
At least I'm not going crazy. Good to know.
Yeah. But I mean, this is actually really good. And then we're supposed to have a special guest coming here soon, hopefully, and we are going to be splitting some Nika coffee grain whiskey with him. He actually introduced this. This is a wonderful, wonderful whiskey. Pat will not be diving into this because
of last weekend.
Yeah, he can't afford another day off.
That's true. I was hurting. It's been a long.
If you guys want to fill in that blank yourself, you're more than welcome to. If not, look up the 40-year-old version. You'll figure out what Pat Lynch is hurting for.
That was uncalled for. Let's blow the belt.
I'm trying to think.
We've already gone blow the belt.
40-year-old version. She was hurting for a.
This is the same time. Yeah. You've already gone blow the belt twice, Chris. You already talked about my messing up of a perfectly good drive like 3 or 4 times on that last game.
Listen, you drove the
you
ninth
drive.
green and you 3-putted to par.
Well, how about on the par 5, I drove it basically. I was like 150 yards out from par 5.
Well,
I managed to hit it to the other tee box in the second shot.
The par 4-6, you drove it like 300 yards, and it took you like 6 more shots just to get on the green.
How bad do you think people listening to is listening to somebody's golf game like listening to somebody talk about their fantasy football team?
Probably.
I'm not trying to. We're just shooting it. We're just shooting it over.
I found out when you hungover hurts your second shot a lot more than your first shot.
But I
think the walk over there, maybe the walk to the ball.
You know who's scaring me?
I got all these guys hitting in front of me, so I got to wait for these guys to catch up.
Who's scaring me is my uncle, who's nice enough to come and play 9 with us. Barely could walk the nine holes. That man, every chance he got to a bench.
I had a hard time walking the 9 holes too. That was a different reason. I think.
Definitely a different reason. It's funny. I was talking to Chris every time we'd be walking around. And I was like, Pat's just not doing well. Pat's not doing well. Pat's hurting. What up, Kevin?
What's up? We got started.
How we doing, baby?
We're all live. We're live, baby.
We live, baby.
Got a little something special for you boys.
Oh!
This is actually from one of our clients.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Untitled Whiskey, number 13. It's a special blend. Batch 1.
Does each number mean a different thing?
Yeah, each number means a different batch. Okay. So this was...
Do they make the recipe different, or that's just how all the recipe are the same?
Well,
and
that throws my Nikki coffee. Let me just throw that out the way. I was going to share a little repurpose. Let me take a look at this bad boy.
That's when it was produced.
Woo! So the question is, do it.
I heard number 11 was bad. Well, this is from our client, so I want to share it with you boys.
Wait, we're number 1. We're all batch number.
We are number 1.
Number 1.
Yeah. But number 13, it's a batch number 13.
Whiskey number 1.
All right. Well, I guess we're gonna have to crack this bad boy open, huh, boys?
Hopefully it's good.
Yes. Yeah. Well, if number 11 was bad, maybe they got it right on 13.
They said that this is supposed to be the best.
Lucky 13.
Nothing like lucky number 13, right?
Well, hey, that's a good call, Chris.
13's unlucky, actually.
Can you explain to me what does number 13 mean? I'm not. So batch 1, number 13, is that the 13 bottle?
I believe, yes. It's
I thought it was the barrels, no? Or like the batch that they put in the barrels, right?
I think, what is it, like, batch 1 is the barrel, like batch 1 would be the barrel, number 13 would be the bottle.
Okay. Good to know.
I believe.
Okay. Well, I think we need to buzz this bad boy open.
I'm just waiting for somebody to come out that's more knowledgeable in this stuff than I am and just tell me that I'm completely
Please feel
wrong.
to reach out to us on the Twitter.
Oh, it smells great.
On the line.
Tell everybody how Chris is wrong about everything.
This
is everybody's favorite.
Doesn't smell bad.
No, it smells really nice. It's got a very nice vanilla smell to it.
The thing we had last week was quite strong. It doesn't sound... What's the proof on that?
187.
That'd be gasoline.
53% alcohol by volume.
Yeah, that seems about right.
Is that What is that, Chris? What is that?
That's not. That's about 85, right?
No.
It's like
53? It's like 106 proof.
Oh, so strong.
Oh, it's going to be a little hot then, huh? Oh,
That's going to be good. That's where it's supposed to fall. It's supposed to be falling between like 45 and 55.
Can I tell you guys the drink I had? I'm going to be throwing I'm going to do the Joe Cornelia of tonight for sure.
Okay.
With the swearing, because we're getting close. I'm feeling better.
You've got 4 minutes and 30 seconds to last.
And Peter's off of his no swearing for Lent.
Driving.
Do you want a little taste of it, Pat?
Yeah, I'll give you a little bit.
I'll grab a cup.
Give me a half one, yeah.
Why don't you just drink it from the bottle?
Yeah.
See how you feel after that.
Put it on your lips. See what happens.
Just kiss it. Apologize.
Well, let me tell you about last night. So me and Lauren, Lauren's doing the pledge for WTTW, and she's having a little bit of a.
Feel free to donate, people, to WTTW.
What is it? No, it's
WFMT.
Whatever.
It's a good cause.
98.7.
Can we do something to give Lauren credit? Do we have to put in a code? Is there like a Lauren LD code on it or something?
Everybody just put on there Lauren.
Just put in your note, saving Lauren Davis's job.
Oh my God!
No doubt.
Is that real? Is that real? Is that what's happening?
No, she's. But so she's had kind of a rough week. So we stayed in yesterday, and I was like, because we have this cocktail book that lines up with the vinyl record. So you have a drink with. Do you put an Old Forester on your record then spin it around like the new commercial?
Oh,
Hell yeah, bud. And so she opened up a page and it was The Godfather, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be great.
You said
The drink's called The Godfather.
Oh, The Godfather. Sorry,
yeah.
I totally misunderstood what you said.
No. So the drink's called The Godfather, and it is Scotch, bitters, and then shooken with ice. Okay. And an orange, like a
so it's almost like an old fashioned.
With sans the sugar cube.
Yeah. No.
The sugar syrup. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Like just bitters.
No. What you're saying it's like kind of like
I apologize. Yeah. So I'm not a Scotch person, so I said forget the Scotch.
We already figured.
So I went with we got whiskey. We got
the viewers know, Peter. They've heard all the Scotches. You're like, I don't like the Scotch. I don't like it.
So we had the Bullet Rye.
Okay.
And Bullet Rye is hot. Add the bitters to that, jump it up like 90 degrees. It was not like it was literally
you
just
need to try it with the Scotch.
No, I did. I should have done that. We should have done the Scotch. I didn't want to buy a whole bottle of Scotch, knowing that I wasn't going to enjoy it.
Oh, you guys,
you got a bottle of Johnny Walker over you.
You kind of just opened up the book and chose at the time what drink you're going to make, and not hadn't planned pre ahead.
If you want to bring Davis your bottle of Johnny Walker over here, you can.
I made the decision not to get Scotch.
But no. What I'm saying is, you decided at the time not to, or you decided when you got down there what drink you were going to do. You didn't know beforehand that you were going to choose the Godfather.
Yeah.
Because obviously, we have a crap ton of Scotch.
Yes, you're right.
Did I tell you why it's called the Godfather? Is there a story for that, or just what they call it?
It was Marlon Brando's. That was his drink.
Okay.
Yep.
How was it?
That's really good. Yeah. That is really, really good. Cheers, guys.
What did everybody think of the pinpoint last week? I don't really remember what
no, it was hot. That was hot.
It was not pinpoint. It was pinhook.
And I called it pinwheel. So
you guys are all over the place on this one.
Oh, that's easy.
It said pin.
That's nice, right?
It said pin.
That's easy.
That's all that matters, right?
That's easy.
It's not bad.
Damn, Pat didn't even.
I had a quarter of what you guys had. So.
Yeah.
I basically had a shot.
That's like I love it when it's a little sweet. Have you ever had Penelope?
Yeah.
Very, very similar to Penelope.
The regular Penelope.
Yes, not the But so I didn't the pinhook, right? Pinhook was okay. I thought the one from Chris's Christmas or the Advent calendar. I forget what it was called.
It was the Elkhorn or something like that.
I'm going to get a bottle of that. I thought that was really good.
I don't remember that one, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's a great spot.
I like the Uncle Nearest one.
Yes, Uncle Nearest wasn't bad either.
I have a new pack of Flaviars and a new bottle to try next week.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, joy.
The
little ramekins again.
Oh. How's your
and an Angel's Envy is the
Easter
the bottle.
My Easter was fine.
Yeah, because you're probably the one who had actually had a real Easter.
It's better than mine, Gavin.
Well, I did. You were offered.
No. It had nothing to do with working.
Oh no!
Did you see? You got the pictures last week of Pat taking a little napski.
I had a little.
No, I didn't.
I had a little too much fun.
Pictures.
I managed
Oh,
to
you
get
didn't
one.
hear this?
Was that on Snapchat?
This was wait,
Oh,
Gavin.
no.
I'm not gonna lie, I forgot all my
Let's
social media login information.
Let's
so
wait,
I know where
Gavin.
they are.
You weren't there,
You're not missing much.
and I got one text trimmed more than you done.
That's fine.
Yeah. No, Pat
fine.
came in, he looked at us, and he's like, I don't feel good. And we're like, just go lay down, Pat.
We've all done it before, though.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I've done it before. Pat,
yeah.
I think Pat was waiting at the garage door, or no, Pat had came down, and you were working for TurboTax at the time, so you couldn't be bothered.
Oh yeah, you were.
And Sexy Pets,
That was
I'm
a
like,
rough day for you.
I came because we were at the hang up until like 5 in the morning the night before. I'm like, Pat, Gavin's gonna text you. He's gonna be here in about like 20 minutes. You're gonna have to let him in because I'm not getting up off this couch.
All right, we're safe. None of us made it. No shots. We can all swear.
Yes.
I was waiting for it because literally there's 5 or 6 times before I came out and was spewing some.
The Bill Burr thing, I almost dropped it in for sure.
Yeah.
When I was
Chris, I thought was going to do a couple times and was so Gavin. I know you listen to this, but we'll just recap. We have to wait 15 minutes before we can swear.
Is that monetary reasons?
Yes, for go.
Yeah, I mean we're just raking it in.
Yeah, because Peter wants to get on the YouTube.
I'm going to get us on YouTube. If
Well,
I
I'm not gonna lie. The reason I came 15 minutes late was because
get
my job.
Gavin, did they deliver this to you from Drizzly?
No, I told you one of our
Oh,
that we do.
So did they send it to you?
No, they personally bought it for us.
Okay, because
So-
I mean this is what this.
because we do such a great
beautiful
job.
bottle,
No, I'm saying this is where they stay. This is like where you get alcohol delivered. This
Yeah.
website.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So I was curious if they had sent it to you.
Oh, no,
via
no,
that.
no,
That's
no,
my
no,
question.
So I as a client, Gavin is talking about dealing tax and accounting services.
Yep.
That we all work for and are the entrepreneurs who started the company. So if you're looking for tax or accounting services,
Yeah, our jabroni asses are the perfect people to get your tax returns done.
This podcast is like, how do they have jobs?
No. We're really smart. I promise. Like
I swear to God, guys, I'm smart.
I
I really
swear
do.
to
well, I mean, we have Gavin who's definitely very smart, and we have a guy who's done it for 30 years. So
Yeah.
we're lucky in that situation.
Yeah, the other three are just putzes.
Yeah.
I slept all week, so who cares? I slept all that Sunday, so got a lot of work done there. You know, I knew you guys were gonna take pictures of me. I'm like, I don't care.
You know what though? I gave it to you because you had a rough night, and I was like, I don't want this like everybody. So I only sent one to Katrina, and I think Chris.
I sent it to everybody.
I didn't care. I knew it was gonna happen. I'm like,
fine.
that was like, I don't. The risk is the reward is worth the risk. I don't care. I felt so miserable.
Oh, bro.
After driving from downtown to here to get the coins out there, I'm like, yeah, I'm done.
Calling it a day. Yeah, we've all been there. I've sitting at a computer and looked at it for at least 2 hours and thought.
Even like the light from the screen was just like totally messing with me. I'm like, oh, I can't.
That's how you know it's
I can't even
bad.
look at this screen.
Yeah. I haven't had one of those. Knock on wood. It's been a long time since I've had one.
I tried to take the glasses off on, like, but nope, can't
Not gonna work.
look at this.
Yeah, it's funny because we were all talking like, hey, we got to keep it in line, can't be too crazy, and it just once it gets going, there's sometimes you just can't stop that.
What was the
train.
whiskey too? The whiskey right after the start from the podcast didn't help.
Oh, it was like Peter McGraw winning three bag games in a row outside for the first time ever, and he was just like, "I'm going,
Oh, it was
going
on.
for broke."
Yeah, I mean
and you beat Brian.
Yeah, Brian was rusty. I knew the first game we could probably get him because he hadn't played in a while, but I was nervous about those other 2 games for sure.
I wasn't doing any favors to the team. Sorry, Brian.
But
It was a team effort in the loss there.
you could tell from the podcast, it was hilarious. Like the podcast was so funny because we could not. There was no. It was not staying on anything. There were so many stories that were started and never finished, and I love those. But when I listen to a podcast and like there's a really good story, like Bert does this all the time. He'll start a story,
Yeah.
and he just won't finish it.
Oh yeah.
And it kills me. Like, it'll be a really good... Like, on Joe Rogan, all the time, somebody will start a story that's so good, and you're like... And then they just go away from it. And you're like, you gotta be kidding
The other
me.
problem with that is I think people tell stories that take too long to tell them. Like they try to set it up too long. You gotta get to the point a little bit.
There's somebody that we know that does a very good job of prolonging...
Who's that? Who's that?
Who's that?
You may be replacing them to this evening.
Oh, is it Joe?
He paints a picture.
Oh, I
like,
thought we were talking about Pat.
he paints a picture
oh.
like Bob Ross.
Oh, really? Yeah. Like, but he starts with the, like the clouds way to the left. And then he goes to the right with another cloud. And then he comes down to the corners. He gets a little bushes.
He's just thorough. He
Yeah,
just likes
very
to make
thorough.
sure
He's getting us an
an
extra 15 minutes of listening
Yeah.
on every podcast.
That's when everybody on the podcast gets up and
Hey.
just to watch him real quick.
Give everybody a little break.
It's just him for that. What?
Blackhawks are up 4-2. Go Hawks.
They are.
Well, Joe Keneally's lock of the week was no reason he's not here today. He didn't want to have to face the noise on his lock of the week.
What was his lock of the week?
Gonzaga
to win the national.
But he did say his
heart
heart was Baylor. Yeah, so you gotta.
His heart was Baylor,
but he thought
at least I came. I was started at the bottom, and then I almost got to the top.
Oh, and that's right. Hey, it was Connor. No,
Scott N.
Scott N. The winner who won our tournament.
I know. I got this stupid email. My team got busted the first week.
And Scott
and Sex and Pepsi over here.
Yeah, beat you in your face, Sex and Pepsi.
So we're gonna send Scott a nice little prize pack. I hope he's listening. It's going out. Hopefully, it's gonna either go out tomorrow or.
I was really hoping Scott wouldn't claim it so I could get the prize back.
Yeah, for sure. No, Scott was nice enough to say thank you and for setting this up. And
did he say he was a long-time listener?
No.
First time caller, long-time listener?
I'm 1,000% sure Scott did not listen, but...
You're sure that Scott just found your public bracket and was like, oh, I'm going to win something.
Yeah, and good for him. I can't believe Pat came from the straight bottom and only lost by one, and Joe was right
because my Final Four had 3 of the 4 right picks is why.
That's so stupid.
My South bracket was a dumpster fire except for the team that I picked to get out of there.
But
all I needed was 2 more points to win. If I would have picked one of the other games right somewhere down the road.
I think it was 1, Pat. I think it was
1. It was 1. Yeah, I had 2 to win.
Let me say this. I'm happy Pat lost. I
think everybody
honestly,
is.
so am I.
Yeah.
I would have walked in that basement like, what up?
I would have been so upset.
Chest out.
So Pat does get to pick for DLM's part of this. Pat gets to pick the alcohol that we have to drink that Gavin has to buy.
God, that's like 2 years in a row. That's why I don't do this stuff.
I thought Sex and Pepsi had to choose.
Oh, is it Pepsi? No, it is Pepsi.
Pepsi counts.
Yeah.
He's got an M in his name. It counts.
Get gold label.
Let's
get a blue label.
No,
get blue label.
You people that one.
Pepsi, just give me. I know you got all this money sitting around. Just give me some 23-year Pappy. We'll call it.
Oh my God!
I may break his bank account.
I was listening to.
Time for give him a bonus, Chris, and he can take care of business. All right.
I was listening to Bill Burr, Doug Stanhope, and Bert on Friday, and Burr has quit drinking since 2018. And he's got all the best line.
No, he's not.
Yeah, Bert doesn't drink.
Bert Kreischer?
Sorry, Bill Burr.
Oh, okay. I think there's no way Bert Kreischer.
No, Bill Burr hasn't drinking since 2018.
I thought you said Bert. Sorry.
And the best line though, Bill said anytime he'd go into a bar, he'd go with his buddy, and he'd go to his buddy, and his buddy's name's Paul. I think is Paul. He's like, "Hey, Paul, all my buddies are here," and he'd be pointing to all like that because Bill was a real drinker. But he says he's got a shelf of high-end friends like Pat B23, like all these like crazy.
So you're telling me that Bill Burr's Saturday Night Live thing was false? He was not drinking the pumpkin ale.
I want to know what he was drinking. You're right, because like, is it just water with a little bit of food coloring? Because it wasn't.
It was not sent. This is unacceptable.
Yeah. Bill quit.
Get him on the gram right now and tell him this is unacceptable. False advertising.
So Bill, like a lot of comedians, they all have issues. And Bill started with drinking, and like it almost broke up his marriage, so he quit drinking. But then he started smoking cigars, and he was smoking like a ton.
So he doesn't seem like the kind of guy that goes halfway. He goes all in.
Yeah, so he had to quit that too. So he's like completely. He did vegan for like 2 weeks, and he's like, I don't know how people do this.
Vegan. Yeah, I wouldn't make it in a vegan either.
No, I wouldn't. That's a whole nother.
You guys should really look up Doug Stanhope though, because I'm
pretty
sure that's Peter McGraw in disguise.
That's gonna be the Patreon podcast when Peter talks about his.
This is a rant.
Okay, but all right, I'll be 1,000% honest. When I was dumb and young, I used to think like this is what I thought about like for vegans, like if cow could eat you, it would. So like what? But like that's the dumb way to look at it. In reality, vegans like. You can definitely get your supplements to get all the nutrition you need, but it's a lot harder. And I think a more mixed, variety is probably better for most people. Also, we evolved to eat meat. Like that's just it's actual science.
Can you explain that if cows would eat you?
No, if cows could eat you, they would. You telling me that if a cow could kill you and eat you, it wouldn't?
Cows are like the dumbest animals.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, most animals, like, if they could, they would eat you. Like, they're not thinking, oh my god, that's a human, I shouldn't eat it.
That's why you see the zoo, like, when the little kids are like to the lions, like that. And the lions are like, eat your ass, bitch.
Yeah. That's all I'm saying is, like, we think we're so highly evolved. And we think about everything. Like, a cow would legitimately stomp your ass, if it could, would trample your ass and eat you.
I mean, how many videos you see where like the kids by the thing and the lion's like creeping up, and he goes and he's there's glass there. He's like bam, bam against the glass.
Let me say though, if that cow did eat you, Pete, that'd be some good ass Wagyu beef right there.
There you go, dude. Deers, they've got pictures of deer.
So does that mean that's like when they used to feed people to the pigs and the pigs would be extra juicy? Is that why?
I don't know.
Or not Deadwood? Yeah, Deadwood.
It's everywhere. Deadwood. All the places like they used to do those things.
Yeah, they used to do
That's how you get rid of bodies. People do it all the time. Like not all the time, but like you.
No, 1,000%.
You'll let the pigs get a little hungry, and it was in Snatch, the movie Snatch.
Yeah, no, that was a good one.
It's in several movies, so it's got to be real, guys.
No, but it's 1,000%. There's a serial killer who's a pig farmer, and they would only get like a few of them, like teeth, like because the pigs wouldn't eat the teeth.
They don't eat the bone. They don't eat all the bones. But
they'll eat most of the bones.
If you don't, you gotta starve them for a couple days, and then they'll eat like anything evidently.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, like
it's that good bacon crisp, baby.
Mm-hmm. No, it's a real hazard on like those big commercial farms where those pigs, like anything that falls in the pen, you're done. Like old people, like old farmers, this happens to all the time. It's insane. And you think those pigs are like taken out?
Grandpa got too close to the pen again, guys. He lost another arm.
Jesus Christ. That would be a hell of a way to die. Like. That would not.
Well, hope they get the neck first so you die soon. Kind of like a zombie. Hope they get right in the neck first.
That's the problem with bears. Like, if you get killed by a bear, they don't kill you.
Yeah, they
just go at you. They start eating.
Yeah. You ever watch the Grizzly Man thing where the guy like tried to be friends with the bears and then the bears attacked his campsite and
the camera was on when he was getting eaten?
No, the camera wasn't on, but it was like the sound was on. The actual video was so
the lens, yeah. You can hear him being eaten.
And his poor girlfriend who didn't want to be out there was also eating with him because she was afraid of the bears.
Yeah.
She was right. She was good. She checked the box for her. He corrected that one.
I honestly, when I was a kid, I do remember that story. My dad told me that story. He's like, "This is like, what was this idiot thinking?"
I mean, the problem is that you just don't how can you blame the bear? Like, it's the bears. You're in the bears area. Yeah. The bear doesn't know any better. It's an animal.
No, yeah. And
it can't eat you, so it does.
Yeah. And if they get hungry enough, why wouldn't you? If you're
evidently that bear was woken up from like hibernation, and I believe if I could be completely wrong on this, but I believe it was
DLM facts right here.
Yep, DLM facts. I believe that bear did not hibernate properly, so it was looking around for food at a time when there was not a lot of food.
Stupid bear can't sleep right.
I think because
dumb bear.
No, I think because it didn't get enough nutrients before it hibernated that it had to go look for more shit.
Yeah.
Because of global warming, Gavin.
What?
Oh man, now we're getting a lot of politics. We're talking vegans. We're talking. Dude, if we weren't gonna get canceled last week or the week before that, this one will really get us in a lot of trouble.
I'm not getting
vegans are very strong.
Thank God.
Huh?
We're not getting us canceled this week.
You guys canceled last week?
Yeah, I said Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, you said again.
You know what? It's that actually leads into something.
Happy non-denominational December holiday where you give gifts to people.
Yes. This is funny because I've been hooked on watching YouTube videos of World War II veterans and Vietnam veterans. I've watched so many of these videos, and the last thing that the guys ask is, what would you say to this generation about that generation? And it's like, you can't be so easily offended. Like, there's some real issues in this world. It's either that or it's that's always be prepared for war because it's going to happen.
That's actually because those two generations, those soldiers are treated extremely differently. Like if you were in WW2, you're like revered, and you're like because you were fighting the Nazis, and you were drafted, you were sent out there in probably
a lot of them weren't actually. You could have been drafted, but a lot of them weren't
voluntarily. They signed up for it. Where Vietnam is an unpopular war. They had equally a shitty time over there. And
it's worse.
And people come back and they're like, "Hey, fuck you!" Like, what? Sorry, I got drafted, dude.
No, 1,000%. So I listened to this one guy. This one guy, you can tell how much the Vietnam War messed. Like, he was capable to live a life, but you could just tell it jaded. There's two things that I get from listening to this. With World War II, it's 17, 18, 19-year-olds knowing that they're going to die.
Yeah. Like, did Dave Kals ever tell you a story about his dad?
No,
I'll finish that in a second.
Yeah, but knowing that they were going to die. So knowing that. Second is nobody came from World War II or Vietnam without being injured. It was almost impossible to get out of World War II or Vietnam without dying. World War II, you lost everybody lost 5 years. We complained that we lost one COVID year. They lost 5 years. Life was not the same. You weren't partying
if you look at Normandy, like I know it's a fake movie. You're watching Saving Private Ryan, like that's real. How like they came off the thing and people just get mowed down. Like you're getting mowed. You know some people are getting mowed down. You're getting mowed down going to the beach.
It's insane. So one guy talks about everybody in. So you jump off. Well, first of all, you climb down the rope, climb down, and if you didn't get in the boat and you hit in the water, you had 75 pounds on your back. You were done. You just sank to the bottom. You didn't even get a shot. Bye. Secondly, they would come in, and the one guy's job, the first three people who were, so you were lined up in this, and then they would lower the gate. The first three people, all automatically on the first wave. So this is the second, third wave. If you win the first wave, the first three people on each boat that got up there, bye. Done.
Yeah, you don't be the eager beaver in that one.
Yeah. Well, no. If you just unfortunately were the first into that boat, and you were at the top of the line.
You're the last of the boat, actually.
Yeah. If you were pushed towards the front, whatever it was, you were dead. That was it. There was a luck of the draw. That unfortunately happened. The other thing on World War II on Normandy is the planes were supposed to come in, and the beach was supposed to have a bunch of spots for them to hide into. A bunch of trench holes.
Not in heaven.
No, the planes hit a mile up and missed the beach. So these guys had nowhere to go. Had nowhere to go. So they were it was insane. And everybody who talks about those guys at Normandy, just courage. Knowing that you're getting out of this boat
gonna die.
And you're going to die or you have to survive. So for Vietnam, I didn't know anything about Vietnam. And this dude's video should be how Vietnam is explained to people. You were drafted, or you knew you were going to be drafted. You would call the draft company and say, hey, where am I at? And they'd be like, all right, you're going to be drafted in December.
My dad missed by one number.
Yeah. So you were going to, your number was about to be called. And so most people then enlisted early to try to have a little bit of control.
Join the Air Force.
Yeah. But the problem is,
or the Navy.
They were dying. So they would put you in, say you were this one guy was a truck driver type deal. Mm. And he gets to Vietnam and he's on the front line. Going to the front line. And the front line meant you were, it was monsoon season, meant you were literally usually up to your waist in mud.
Tom Hanks, baby, Forrest Gump.
No, you're right, yeah. So
one day it just started raining, and it just kept raining.
He was in both wars. Right?
And again,
he keeps getting killed in these wars.
Yeah.
What they talk about is how it's just random. It's you can get yourself killed for sure, and you can do everything right and still get killed. It's just the guys. You're more likely if you're an idiot and you're just making one guy got a Dear John letter, and that Dear John letter said it was, hey, his wife was leaving him, and he just stood up, and a sniper, bam,
wow, just
gone. The other way is if you're just so careful. And this one guy, his sergeant, this guy was talking about, his sergeant was in World War II Korea, and he was doing another campaign in Vietnam, and he was in a mess tent, and a shell just came and blew up the mess tent. So he survived Korea, World War II, and just ended up he just randomly got killed.
So Dave was telling me about his dad was I believe he was in the British Navy, something with the Navy in Britain. And he said his dad was his dad said something to the effect later. He's like, when you're, I don't get scared of anything anymore because when he had he got a cancer diagnosis. He was basically over. He's like, when you're 19 years old and you're in the middle of a dark Atlantic Ocean and there's German U-boats all around you and you're pretty sure you're about to get blown up, nothing much phases you after that in your life.
What was the movie? Yeah. What was the movie we talked about a few weeks ago? The World War II movie where they were just trying to get on the boats to get off of Germany.
Oh, Dunkirk?
Dunkirk.
I didn't see that yet. I didn't want to watch that.
It's so good, but that's what that's about.
That's long as hell, right?
Yeah, it was.
It wasn't me and Peter had this discussion. It's actually not as long as most of Christopher Nolan's movies.
Yeah.
It's only 2 hours. So that's a breeze for him.
Still, that's true. But so in that movie, it's about all these guys would get on these boats and none of them would want to go to they wouldn't want to go to the second or below deck because of the German a lot of them had gotten caught and had to get out and were because a lot of people died drowning that way.
Yeah, I mean, if you ever look at those U-boats, they won the Museum of Science and Industry, whatever the hell Ken Griffin is called it now. But Peter McGraw, I remember going as a kid, and now you, Peter, would never be able to make it on that boat. Your head, you'd have such a bad back by the third day.
Well, think about those big ships where these guys were coming over from the United States. They talk about how everything was so compact. Like you had no room. And it where they would sleep, it was just like 40 bunks high, and you'd have to climb to your bunk, and that's what you did until you got to England. The other thing though is you're right though, Pat. Like World War II, like you were in Germany after like a lot of these guys were there after Germany surrendered, and they got like a lot of like time off. Like they sent them to Switzerland to learn to ski. They sent them to France to like beach season, like bikini season. Yeah. A lot of these guys talk about like the things that they did afterwards. Where like they got a lot of.
I thought I said Costa was dad did afterwards.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Go to Costa Rica.
Costa Rica.
You know what? That's hilarious. The one thing though is they all talk about is they don't talk about the fun, like they talk about the war and stuff, but they won't talk about like the prostitutes, like the.
Well, that was probably more Vietnamish, right? Probably.
No, the prostitutes. No, World War II. Like if you were, you're saying you get because you only got like a 3-day leave. So if you got like a 3-day leave and you're in like Belgium, where you just liberated Belgium from the Germans. Okay,
after you liberated. So I'm saying Nazi place, they're probably not so great leaves.
Yeah. So, but you were sent to Belgium and you had a 3-day pass in Belgium. Like it was like donkey kong. Go time, baby.
Concentration camps really kind of kill the buzz. Jesus.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Actually, that brings up a story I wanted to talk about, which I think one thing I really like. Learning a lot of this World War II stuff for me is like it's just you don't know anything really about history. And this one guy, his name's I just wanted to bring him up because I think people should look him up. I got a little vibe that he maybe some of it could be exaggerated, but who knows? He's got a lot of people. This dude's got the Medal of Honor. He's got all this shit. His name and like you could watch 2 hours on his life. He just died in 2020. He was 103, and his name was James Maggie. What would I have it? You dirty girl.
His middle name was Maggie?
Yeah, no, his nickname was Maggie. That's what they called him. James Maggie Megellas.
It's a weird nickname.
And so yeah, and he's on there.
Long time ago.
Yeah, for sure.
But
this guy,
he's braver than I was in this.
He was like 26 in World War II. He went through some of the worst.
That's kind of old for being in World War II.
Yeah.
Did he end World War II at 26?
Yeah, so I think he got.
Okay, so he probably got there.
45 to 26 then.
He was on the front line for most of through Italy, through Belgium. He went through Bastogne, which was one of the worst battles, and then it's like Hindenburg Forest or something, and that's where we lost 30,000 soldiers, and they gained nothing out of that. But this dude, he tells one story. There's 2 stories, and one comes up on the concentration camp. But the one where he got his Medal of Honor is they're chasing Germany in Germany, and they need to take one of these towns. And there's 350 odd Nazis, and he's got his colonel's like, you guys got to go get that town tonight because they were scared. They were trying to reinforce it. So he had 150 versus 350, and he talks about this they just snuck up on them somehow, and these guys were there's a bunch of them outside, so we started mowing these dudes down. Just fucking started killing these motherfuckers. Out of nowhere, a German tank comes and starts launching tanks at him.
What's launching?
Just starts blowing. So he tells his boys to cover. He runs through it's like a town that's in a forest. So he runs through the forest, gets close to the tank, throws explosive on the tank, shakes the tank. So these people are knocked out. Gets on top of the tank, takes a grenade, throws it in the grenade, kills all the people in the tank.
Indiana Jones here?
This is insane, yeah. This is real,
it's fucking Rambo.
Yeah. Fucking Rambo. And then they killed,
Well, I was Indiana Jones because you know that when he...
His count was they killed 150 Germans, and not one U.S. soldier died.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and then, and that's why I'm this guy, I feel like we should know, more of these actual, heroes. But, and then... He was probably
not a hero from the Nazi side.
No, that's the other thing is these guys talk about. There's this one guy who was super jaded. He felt like the army almost got him killed 7 times because they had so many dumb captains that all these captains would come in and try to tell him to do something stupid. He's like, no, you idiot! I've been here for 2 years. I'm not doing that. And then he would somebody who's younger, a replacement would do it, and that dude would die.
And can't be combative, Chris.
Yes, no, this dude but so there's so many good stories.
But this court-martial your ass, Pat Lynch.
Maggie.
You can court-martial me, so I won't be dead.
Yeah. That's what he said. He's like, what are they going to do? Court-martial me? They didn't have enough people. So I was like, if I didn't feel safe, I didn't do it. Court-martial me. What are you going to do? You can't do that. So he knew that he was never going to be court-martialed. So he kept his butt alive. Like he was not in, and he was never going to put himself in a situation. But this Maggie guy, they got into Germany and they opened up one of the concentration camps, and he did a whole, like he's done like a whole documentary series on just how disgusting it was, and like how like the Germans didn't want to, like the German citizens pretended like they didn't know, but they fucking knew that this shit was there.
Well, I mean, you don't just ship off, a huge population for no reason and wonder what they're not doing it to take them to Club Med.
Yeah, no, for sure. But talking about movies and Dunkirk in 2 hours, I watched the shittiest movie last night. Holy shit! So I had Bad Barbecue.
Was it Sexy Pepsi Takes Vegas?
No, I had Bad Barbecue on top of the worst movie. I was thinking Guest House, and I was going to talk to Joe about this because me and Joe listened to a lot of same podcast, and this podcast, it was Pauly Shore, not Guest House, it was House Guest, right?
No, you had it right.
Oh, Guest House?
Yeah.
So Pauly Shore
works for you, Chris.
It's the worst. It's literally the worst movie ever. There are random, like, naked girls walking around at parties.
Sounds good. Sounds good so far.
Wait, were they attractive naked chicks?
There are a few. Definitely.
So,
but
you're not turning me off right now, Peter.
But there was the guy's name is Randy Cockfield. And
I like it.
Don't name.
He was really into bigger women.
Oh, so, no, we're out.
But he loved to, Chris.
That's true. Which is okay. That's not a big deal to me.
That's Joe, baby.
But it was all about the drugs. Like Randy was all into drugs.
Okay.
And so what?
Wait, is Pauly Shore Randy?
Yes.
Okay.
So what turned me off about this movie immediately is they start this movie with these kids at a party, and this kid, like, they showed this kid as being like the cool kid at the party, and then this other girl comes in and he like introduces himself, but she has a boyfriend, and then 30 years later, this is where we go from there to 3 years later. These two people look like they've aged 20 effing years. Are you kidding me? 3 years? I couldn't get past it. I'm like, I'm out. You can't tell me this lady.
That's where you drew the line of Pauly Shore movie?
Yeah.
That's where you drew the line?
I was like, she looks like she's 90 now. How are you telling me 3 years?
Hey, it's the drugs.
Yeah.
She looks terrible.
She does
This is a Pauly Shore movie. Like, they can't really do the aging too well. The makeup budget, not so high.
So Pauly Shore is like 60 years old. There's no way.
Someone explain to me the last Pauly Shore movie that he's been in. Besides like the mid-90s.
I don't know how this movie got made, but give me.
There's a whole
who would
podcast
buy a
on
house? Who would buy a house? Is it really?
No, that's the one podcast. How does movie get made?
Well, I'm hoping that they put. If they do, I would listen because this is ridiculous.
You can send suggestions, I believe, John Peter.
So the premise is these people bought this house who had a house guest in there, and he was going to be out in 3 months. You're telling me that these people wouldn't think like, oh, if he would have been out in 3 months, why wouldn't they just wait to sell it in 3 months and get a better price? Because it's a gorgeous house, but they just have a house guest they can't get rid of? No. So then they said, okay, he'll be out in 3 months and we'll live here.
I mean, you're thinking way too much, so you're already ready for this.
It's ridiculous. So then it goes from like...
When you said Pauly Shore, I know you've already gone way too deep in this movie.
So Pauly Shore just having random parties, blowing off fireworks. They're just having sex parties. There's tons of drugs. The cops come like 3 times. The cops don't notice all the drugs Randy Cockfield has.
Pierre, have you ever seen a Fast and Furious movie?
It is ridiculous.
It's real.
Have you ever seen a Fast and Furious movie?
That's real. All right.
It's real life.
We all know The Rock can hold a helicopter.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, you gotta suspend belief in some movies here, right?
This is ridiculous. We just go from, like, they're sleeping to Randy Cockfield killing it. Like, just...
I like how you keep saying Randy Cockfield.
It's his name.
It's his name.
Are you mad because when we do great jobs on homes, you see a fucking movie like this, and it's just out of this world ridiculous? Is that why you're so pissed off?
No,
or
you
is it because
it's actually pissed. You know, Pat, you know what happened? They had VX in it. So one of the part of the movies is Randy drugs the whole wedding party, and an old man on a scooter runs through a house wall from outside inside through on a scooter. First of all, grabs some electrical wire VX and rips the VX throughout the house.
Nice.
We're talking like a probably $3-4 million home has VX in it.
So obviously it's good. Obviously it's good stuff. Clearly, could have been fun. Should have been fun. Chicago.
Out of all the things you talk about, a code violation that we've seen,
Here's the other
and then he rehearsed on it.
But
That's it. I'm out.
If you listen to Pauly Shore had Eric Griffin, he had Bobby Lee, he had Felipe Esparza in it. He had all these guys that they just podcast with in the movie. the other thing is they had jail scenes. Oh, Lou Ferrigno was in it too. That was
Lou
random.
Ferrigno and his son, Lou Ferrigno Jr.
Is he also built like the Hulk?
I have no idea. I've never seen his son.
Okay, well that's.
Wait, did you watch this too, Chris?
No, I looked it up on Wikipedia earlier to see
Thank
what
God
the
you
hell was
didn't
going
watch
on.
it out because I.
We should all watch it. We should all make a date to watch it.
No.
You in Sex Pepsi?
I'm still waiting to watch the Mighty Duck guy himself with Pat Lynch.
Emilio Estevez.
I would rather do Texas.
You ever watch Emilio Estevez? The Mighty Ducks? Oh.
That movie, Mighty Ducks, yeah. Flying V that ass.
There's a new show.
There's a new show. Did you watch it, Sexy? How would you think? Did it bring back all your childhood memories?
He was a little young for the original one, I think. That was more us than him.
No, but you saw him, right?
I'm sure you saw it, but I'm saying he was probably not as invested in it as we were.
Yeah.
Pepsi, what's going on with WrestleMania?
I do not know.
You're useless.
Who is going to win the Royal Rumble tonight, Pepsi?
I'm going to win the Royal Rumble, Pat Lynch.
The Royal Rumble happens in January, Pat Lynch.
I will rush around.
Gonna get tossed out.
Who's the man right now in the WWE?
I mean, I learned today that there's all the WWE shit's on Peacock now, which I didn't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they sold it. I thought it was just like I didn't realize they split the whole thing there, everything, all the content.
No.
Vince McMahon wants to get out of the wrestling business.
Because he's
Vince McMahon.
Really?
He's not in
he
the
wants
best
to sell
health.
NBC.
At some point, that's probably his out strategy, or this is his kid's out strategy. Probably when he dies, the kids will be like, "Go ahead, it's all yours."
Who do you think would run it? Because isn't it? I mean, Triple H and
Shane McMahon.
I'm assuming they would keep some of those people around to kind of run it and whatnot, or make them executives at NBC to run that part of their.
You know what I thought was kind of weird is you could gamble on the WrestleMania.
You can't be like heavyweight.
Yeah, you can gamble. Like certain offshore places will allow you to gamble, but like only up to like $50 or something because they have predetermined outcomes.
Yeah, I know that.
Could you figure out what the? Could we just? I mean, I could use an extra $50 if we could figure it out.
I would tell you to bet on Edge for the world title match tomorrow, but I don't know if they.
Daniel Bryan.
I don't know. I said he was going to win the Royal Rumble, and he was not.
They're all back. Weren't they like
Edge,
all decrepit?
Edge had
and
his neck messed up, didn't he?
Yeah, the great thing about steroids and science.
What's his name? Bryant.
Not enough. I guess.
Wait, what happened to Edge?
He had like the neck injury, like spinal stenosis, and he was like he could. Yeah, Sting. Yeah,
Sting's like 60.
But like
wrestling.
Well, Sting isn't wrestling too much, but like they made such great advances on like figuring out the spine and everything that these guys like are able to go out there now.
So these guys are so
like
broke.
5 years ago, like literally 5 years ago.
Are they like? Is it something with like? Is it something where they need the money, you think, or is it just a love for the game? Like,
I think
both, probably.
I think both. I think like kind of. I don't know what Sting. I don't know what the hell he's kind of doing, but I think Edge. He's still kind of young. He's still like in his 40s. I mean,
he got
cut
off. He got cut off because
I remember that Sting injury when he was. Like, I saw that he went against a turnbuckle and he was just dropped. Like, he literally just dropped.
What about I haven't listened to it, but the Undertaker talks about this on Joe Rogan's podcast.
Yeah,
how it's so hard to leave the game because that 50,000, 100,000 person cheering you coming down, like you're never gonna get that feeling.
Well, that guy, what is it? He literally got like his contract went up and he signed for an appearance outside of WWE, and WWE lost their shit and signed him to like a lifetime contract or something for huge money.
Cool.
The Undertaker, yeah, like he literally like.
So even though he doesn't wrestle, he still gets paid.
Yeah.
Well, I think
because he got offered what is it? He got offered like $2 million to show up at this thing just to sign autographs. He wasn't doing anything. He was just gonna show up, sign autographs for 4 hours. And WWE got wind of it. They're like, "Fuck no!" Put a contract on the table that's something he couldn't refuse. Like I'm assuming like $25 million or something. And he's like, next day, like they're like, "Yeah, he's done. He's not coming to this thing anymore." Like I'm sure these people sold a bunch of tickets.
What? Yeah, wish that kind of.
Well, he's like the WWE guy. Though.
Yeah. But that's those guys make a pretty good living, like just signing autographs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, they're also good there.
What I mean, like at the Rosemont, you can go there. And, like I personally, I don't really care for autographs, but if you're into autographs, that's kind of cool. It's kind of like the NFT thing. Like I don't get it, which makes it me in my head think like, this is dumb. But if somebody finds interest,
it's like
value
anything. It's like anything. It's like art. If you have value if you value that art, then it's that's what it is.
It just doesn't make. And then, but then I feel like an old man when I'm thinking like, this is dumb. Like
you are an old man.
Whoa.
Got a little gray in your beard.
I got a little white in the beard. I don't like that. I don't like it at all.
That's why Peter's clean shaven.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I would. I mean, I had 5 minutes to get ready for today, but I hate the little white. I don't get one. You know, my hair's getting the goatee's getting a little lazy on me now.
Got a little shot in the chin.
I'm gonna do just for men. Yeah. If I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go pink. Let's go.
You gotta do like touch of gray for just.
Chris has a little bit too, so maybe it's genetic.
It could be genetic. I mean, we could be a redhead, like some people.
I'm talking about you, Pat Lynch.
Okay.
Pasty. Pat Lynch.
No. Look like Casper, the friendly ghost over here.
I thought I got sunburned when we went into the driving range 2 weeks ago.
This dude lathered up.
Oh God, he was the only person there that.
Wait, at the driving range on the month. I
thought I did, but I did not.
Oh, that Sunday. Yeah. You were lathering up, last week. I was like,
I'm not taking chances, man.
The skin cancer.
This white ass skin is not like the sun. Right? It does not mesh well. I don't want to look at this drizzly bag over here. This bright ass red.
I'm trying to think. There was some stuff in the news this week that I wanted to have. And I literally, for what I love about this podcast, Kevin, is this is my time to like make like discussions of like what shit that's going on. Have you been vaccinated?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've had some good conversations on like yes or no on the vaccinations, and unfortunately, it's too political. I think I don't think people are given the opportunity to say like, hey, this is why I'm doing it, why I'm not doing it. It's more like, well, you're not doing it because you're a Republican or all that shit. But it is what it is. You do it, don't do it.
Honestly, I'm probably more Republican. I got it.
Yeah. No, I
that's the stupid premise.
The fear though is the world is not, because America's got its vaccinations. I think they're doing their best to.
It's like 20% of Americans have vaccinations. That's what I believe I read this week. Evidently, in Brazil, people are dying left, right, and central.
That's what I'm saying. Because if you think about it, we're covering America, which America makes it. They're covering their people.
Yeah.
Brazil is not getting it. Like they're not getting the vaccinations, and they're scared that's gonna upheat. Like,
I think I read Poland and some other Eastern European country.
I think Italy's back down in lockdown. And didn't Kristen we talk about Vancouver?
Yeah, Vancouver. Like their hockey team, like the Canucks got like half their team ended up getting
the Cubs' first baseman coach got COVID.
Well, they just shut. Are they going to shut Michigan down again too?
Yeah, Michigan's.
Michigan's pretty bad. Yeah, I heard. But do they know
the Democratic governor doesn't want
to do it because you can't do it anymore? Yeah. So I mean I don't see us. So I think this could be the time where like if COVID was really going to start, because there's no feel for.
Well, then you got places like Texas and Florida, which are wide open, like nothing's ever happened.
Yeah, which is fine because if you
but if you look at their stats, their stats are lower than other states that have bed pressure.
So what is going on in Michigan? That's the scary part. Like, what is going on?
Is it just a concentration of the way people are living in these states? Like the lack of I don't know. I mean, I have no idea. Texas is a very spread out state. That was probably apart from the major metropolitan areas.
And so that's. I mean, I honestly cannot wait for 5 years.
In Florida, who knows? God knows what that's.
When we really get an idea of like what made what and how things happen.
Well, it might be the fact that you can be outdoors.
Although Florida did restrict when it came to the spring break stuff. They locked down. They wouldn't let people out at night, and they were like they did.
That's why they were partying in the streets, Pat Lynch.
But there wasn't enough cops to arrest people. But they actually stopped like bars and things like that. So. That probably maybe mitigates.
When you're having gangbangs, it doesn't matter.
There's no COVID in the gangbang.
Yeah, there's no.
Gavin's in his car on his way down to Florida. Arrives at 8 o'clock on a Saturday night. Gets out of his car. I'm here for the gangbang, ladies.
I'm vaccinated, baby. No worries.
Not from this variant, baby.
Jesus, dude.
Gavin, the hippie still goes with you, baby.
The most scary part of the Florida stuff was that those two guys who sadly killed that one girl, and then we're just out partying like it was no big deal.
Yeah, they're probably done it again if they didn't get caught.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's how scary is that stuff. No, I don't know if you guys saw this. Came out more recently, but they've got like the transcripts for the National Guard. And not to keep bringing this stuff up, but I thought it was kind of interesting the transcripts for the National Guard and when they stormed the Capitol. Mm-hmm. And they looked at like they just kind of went from timeline to timeline when they kept like because like Pence called for the National Guard,
Well, he called for people to evacuate the city.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there was something on like the Tribune that they had some of the stuff up, and they're like one of his things was like pleading for them to evacuate the city of D.C. there.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well, he called for the National Guard to come in. Pelosi and Schumer called, and they did like a timeline of like this all kind of started at like 1, and they called it like 1:30. Like, yo, bring the National Guard in. And the article. So they called at 1:30, and you know when the National Guard actually came in?
2:30.
It was like 5 o'clock.
Oh my god.
5 o'clock.
They came in at 2:30. No, it's 5.
Yeah, so it took 4 hours, and there are some like. Some of the stuff was the guard that was there. This is so crazy. So the quote unquote the reason that there wasn't more guard there originally was because they were scared because of what they did in the spring or in the summer when we had all those riots because of George Floyd.
Yeah,
and the government was like really nasty with them. So they were like, well, we don't want to do that again. And that like quote unquote like we don't want to do that again. And so they just had the National Guard there for checkpoints.
Yeah.
So their thought was, well, we can't send our National Guard in because they're here just to do checkpoints. We need to now tell them that they're here to like, and it's like, no, like we have like actual people who are in danger. Like just get in there and start crushing some skulls or something, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. That thing was literally mob mentality.
Oh yeah, it was insane.
It was crazy because people were. Oh, I lost my train of thought. My bad. Nah, bro.
No, but and it went from like, it also went. They had 20,000 people at the riot, or not the riot, at the like that parade, the rally, and 10,000 of them went to like 10,000 on like maybe 1,000 cops. Yeah. These poor cops, like we don't give them enough credit. Like that's the sad part of it all. And there's a lot of Twitter stuff like don't ever forget this day. And I didn't really think about it that way. I always thought when I originally saw it, I thought it was kind of like a joke, like all these idiots are just having fun. And no, it was much more like we're gonna try to take over the United States.
My favorite thing is like they're always asking, oh, I didn't mean to, I just lost my head. So
there are a lot of people in jail for they killed their wives for the same reason.
For one mistake. Yeah, for sure.
I lost my mind and then I killed my wife.
Yeah.
And they weren't storming federal ground. That's the thing that pisses me off the most. They're like, I should be forgiven or whatever.
You have to be held responsible for your actions.
It's so freaking, it's insane, the silliness of it all. But I mean, I hope. I mean, again, we'll see that down the road. But my dad was telling me, my dad's hilarious. The stories that my dad brings up, some of them are so outlandish, and I think he takes like.
I love your dad's stories sometimes.
Oh, they're so ridiculous. Like, so one of the stories today was like. He got a conspiracy theory that I think from Fox. My dad's doesn't like Fox. My dad is totally left leaning, and my family is more right leaning. So it's always fun at family parties. But one of the stories my dad said he heard on Fox, I gotta believe 1,000% this is not right, but that 3 months out from the next presidential election, Joe Biden will get some type of illness, and Harris will have to come in so she can be the next president because Joe will be too old to be president. And I'm like, Dad, there's legitimately no way this is a real thought. Like, he's like, no.
Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. We'll fact check this in 3 years from now.
We got out of the car, and we're like kind of joking about my dad, and then we're like, but what if he's right? Like, how insane would that be?
See, the thing is, like, if Joe Biden were to pass away due to his old age, because that guy's old as dust,
78.
Oh shit! So how he looks? No, he's old.
Oh,
yeah, he's old.
No, and you can't. No. But listen to him. You know he's got some type of dementia.
Yeah. No.
There's no way.
But this is the thing. If he does pass away and Kamala Harris does take over, that is the right extreme's worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, 1,000%.
Oh, it'll be insane.
But it would depend. It would depend on the midterm elections, probably, if he lives that long.
Yeah.
Well, how that goes, because if the House and Senate shift, it doesn't matter who the president is. If they don't agree.
Because nothing will get done.
Yeah.
So that's why they're rushing to get all this.
That's why they're trying to get all this shit done right now, while they have the control of it for the next 2 years.
The best thing is me. So I listen to the news like on the radio, and they're always they're talking about all these people asking for, because like the infrastructure bill hasn't even been passed. There's no talk about it at all. There's talk. I'm sorry. There's talk about it, but like. There's no, they haven't brought it anywhere. But cities are ready lining up, like, feed me, baby. I need this, I need that, I need this. It's like, in the city of Chicago, the South Loop, Fulton Market, they want to get the L tracks, like those. They want, on Lake Street, they want to get those out. They want to fix that because that was built in the 1800s before cars were
I believe Illinois. I believe Illinois is among the worst states when it comes to like state of bridges across the state. I believe.
Well,
but let me tell you, if they did take off the
tolls supposed to fix all this, Peter. Don't you remember that?
The tolls fix the pension.
I keep hearing a bunch of different things about what they're going to use the infrastructure thing for. I hear that Chicago is in massive need for getting rid of the lead pipes that they have the water runs through. Yeah, so that's what they.
But I read something. I read like a thing that they have like an alternative to that where you can put like a balloon thing in there as what do you want to replace all the pipes. Do you guys does any of you guys watch? That's like I've heard that too. Where so the lead pipes will stay, but they'll send a covering that sits in the middle, so then the water doesn't touch the lead pipes; it just runs through the balloon. Right. That's actually but no, does anybody here watch John Oliver at all? Like any of his stuff?
Not much because
not often.
You guys catch him on YouTube at all? Because they do a pretty good job of. They'll put his like main thing up on.
Yeah, but it's like 28 minutes long. He used to be like used to be able to get like clips of like certain things. Okay. And now it's like the whole entire show is on YouTube. And
no, it's just the main point, which is usually about 20 minutes. Right? Yeah. But I love so like one of my running now is John Oliver's thing, and he did a thing on the deficit. And I've always been like a scared of the deficit, but he actually he's like if we use the deficit right, you're going to grow the economy. And he's just like, and I get he's so left leaning, so it's still biased. I got to do my own research, but he talks about Reagan being so scared of the deficit and then cutting taxes, which grew the deficit. Yeah, and then George W. and Bill brought that deficit down, and then George Jr., Obama, and then Trump. Like Trump put it on steroids because that tax cut. Because you can't, if you want to cut the deficit, you can't cut.
Well, you can't cut. It's very
simple.
You can't spend more and cut.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So it's like
business 101 there.
Yeah, and everybody who's like, and so like Republicans are like, we got to get the deficit down. Don't say anything when it's a Republican president so now that so they were showing because like Biden wants to get the stimulus package in, and you got all these Republicans who are like, no, we're not. Blah blah blah. Our children are going to be paying for this. And it's like, and then you look at these are the same guys who gave these cuts, and then and it's like, God, politics are so garbage. Yeah. This country is so screwed because we're so effing divided. It's ridiculous.
No, yeah. Like, I feel like we should all look at what we all want to accomplish, and that's a standard of living. Yeah. And the problem is, one side wants something to be given to everybody, and the other side is just like, we can't do that. Well, and no matter which way you look at it, they're just going to argue. Yeah. It's so stupid. Like I'm not saying give everything to everybody. No, yeah. But there's a give and take for everything.
Here's the really crazy thing is, but just scared me. Like I didn't like this part of the John Oliver thing, and I think everybody should honestly go look at this because if you're nervous about the deficit, I think it gives you at least a starting point to say, okay, hey, this guy. But economists are becoming, they're starting to think about. The scare was that if you can't outgrow, or the deficits are going to get so big that it would stunt our economy. Yeah. But if your economy grows larger than what your interest rates are, and that's the reason this hasn't been a big deal, and the economy is growing right now, is because our interest rates are so low. Yeah. And economists don't understand this. Like usually when you're spending this much money, the interest rate should be out the wazoo. Yeah. But if your economy can grow faster than the interest rates on the debt, you could have as much debt as you want. That's what, that's the new. Isn't that scary though? That blew my mind, but it also scared the shit out of me because in your personal life, think about trying to have more debt but grow more. You gotta. Yeah.
I'm just gonna make it more, but I'm just gonna keep picking that debt up.
Yeah, like there are people who think that way.
Wait, so you're talking about that? Everyone who took student loans out? That's essentially what's happening. Oh my god!
But if the 50K comes,
Jesus,
I don't think that's gonna happen though. I would like to. We'll find out. Like we already have so many people who are so nervous about the tax.
Can you reconvert your private loans to government loans?
Poor bad. So screwed on. But did you do that, or did your parents do that?
They're mine. They're my loans.
Oh, so you did that in the hopes that it would be cheaper?
No, I'm saying, can you do that now? Can I go back?
Can you go to the government? How about that one lady we used to help? That she would just instead of because if you in school,
she's starting to pay her loans now.
Yeah,
oh my God, that's what we're talking about.
We'll end on the Masters, Chris. How Chris's boy DeChambeau.
Bryson DeChambeau.
And he's killed me. Absolutely killed me. I bet on him twice and gotten destroyed twice. You can check us out. You can check out some funny tweets at the podcast SMP, or some awesome pictures. There's some stuff about the Hawks and nature on our Instagram at podcast SMP. Or you could be like our boy Scott, who emailed us our first email from a listener, the SMP podcast at gmail.com.
Yeah, I didn't even get to read it. What the fuck?
I should have waited for you, Pat. I apologize, but I also wanted to get his information so that we could get him his prize packet. I don't know if we're gonna get there. And I'm hoping. I literally am so busy. There's when we went skiing in January, I stupidly forgot my boots, and the lady was nice. Like, just the Airbnb person was so sweet. She literally FedExed them to me. And I've been meaning to get her a thank you card and like a $25 like.
It's gonna be like a year later. She's like, "Who the hell is this guy?"
Yes,
sending a thank you
card. The only thing she wanted was like a 5-star rating on her Airbnb, and I was like, "Oh, I could do that later."
Was that a 5-star rating though?
I did it beforehand. The only problem was she wouldn't let us use the washer and dryer. And when you're skiing, you need to dry your clothes. When you're raining, it's a whole thing. So she got a 4.5. Like, I'm gonna put
met her in the middle.
Yeah. I met her in the middle. All right, boys. This has been a fun one. Chris, you got anything you want to add here? You're looking a little quiet the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, well, I was looking at a hashtag on Twitter that is pretty funny. Hashtag tits out for Mark Lee.
What?
Yeah.
Who's Mark Lee?
I don't know.
Is there a photo of tits out?
There's a bunch of people. Like, you're gay. Is one of the things literally on there.
Yeah, it's trending.
There's some guy. A bunch of people, like girls, are just like posting pictures of dudes taking their old man titties out. Just fucking great. Just great.
What
so
is happening?
Thanks for joining the podcast, Chris. Now, as you...
Just great.
Who is Mark Lee?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out.
Google it. Really? Did you Google it? Is that him?
I don't know.
If we find out who Mark Lee is, we will definitely throw that out on...
I'm afraid to Google Mark Lee.
Yeah, it's probably...
Is it like that Fournier? Everyone Google Fournier, please.
Don't do that, yeah. Don't do that,
do it at work.
Did we talk about this last? Oh, we did. Chris, Catch Me Outside. The girl who made $1 million with...
Come meet me outside.
With
God,
me.
if I was a girl, I'd take advantage of this.
That's what we talked about last week, right?
Mark Lee
is a Canadian rapper.
Feet post.
I just put honey all over my feet every day.
Look at his birthday, Chris.
I trim my fucking toe hairs.
August 2nd, 1999. Only the real pieces of shit are born on August 2nd.
Wait, it was Mark Lee and Pat Lynch?
He's a Canadian rapper, singer, songwriter based in South Korea.
Oh my god, are we old? This is probably somebody who's really cool.
He's from the supergroup
NSYNC?
No, it's supergroup Super M or the group NCT, whatever that is.
Awesome.
NCT 127.
Okay,
and
NCT Dream, evidently.
Boys.
Yeah, I'm outside this loop.
I believe is that a K-pop thing, Chris?
I mean, they couldn't. Like, I've looked at some of these pictures. Nobody's freeing the titty on this. They're taking pictures.
Chris, take your shirt off. We'll get some titties on.
You know the best.
Patrick McGraw's got a nice little soft titty.
Wow. All right, well, hey, we're going to leave it on that note. I was going to say that one of the best bumper stickers, and I knew Chris would have loved this, and I tried to snap it, but this dude was driving crazy. This guy in a pickup truck, of course a pickup truck, said, boobies make everything better.
It's true.
The best sign out there is the one that's over there on Montrose and Narragansett, where it's like, wear your mask, or like, no bras, free the titty. You know? yeah. That's really good.
Gavin, I want to thank you for joining us tonight on Last Minute.
Thank you for having me.
We're definitely Gavin will be our go-to if one of the guys has got a miss. He's
so you're talking about Joe? Joe.
I'm better than Joe.
Yes.
Let Joe know. Joe, you hear me? I'm better than you.
This is going to get edited out for sure, but Joe.
My haircut's better than you too.
You're the only one who's coming close, Kevin, in this group.
Yeah, for sure. We ain't got enough hair for that. I want to thank you guys. If this is your first time listening, thank you for checking us out. If you're a repeat listener, we do truly appreciate it. Again, check us out at Podcast SMP for Twitter and Instagram. Our email is the SMPpodcast@gmail.com. Have a wonderful week. Hopefully it warms up a little bit. And DeChambeau, if you could just get it together, maybe I can win some money.
Hey, Joe, I'm just kidding. I love you.
Bye.